Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce. There is some weird things going on in Maryland as far as being anti-2A. I know that's not a surprise, but they're being particularly sneaky with requiring insurance in their next bill, the House Bill 430. That might be washed out, I'm not sure, but we're going to take a look at it right now. If you want to look this up yourself, you can take a look at it. I'll have a link down below, but it's House Bill 430 in Maryland. And of course, it's only going to be the state of Maryland. I am in Tennessee, but it seems to be a very common avenue that anti-2A states are taking to remove your rights and keep you from owning or carrying a firearm. What does House Bill 430 state? Well, for one thing, it basically lists a whole bunch of reasons why you can't own a firearm or carry a firearm. And the majority of those are already nationwide. They're basically listing off all the things listed on the 4473 background check, which you filled out before you bought your firearm in the first place. So if you're a convicted felon, you can't own a firearm. That's in here. That is pretty much common across the entire country. But then there's other things in here that is odd. Like for instance, if you are a habitual drunkard, there is no definition of drunkard that I know of. It does not have an asterisk next to it to define what a drunkard is. That's interesting. But the real party starts on page 5 when it gets into the liability insurance requirements. By the way, please disregard all the disarray in the bunker right now. I completely demolished a bunker about 2 weeks ago to rebuild it into a more studio-friendly environment. And then Tennessee got stuck underneath a foot of snow. So back to House Bill 430, the requirement for insurance. Let me just read this here for you. A person may not wear or carry a firearm unless the person has obtained and is covered by liability insurance, insured by an insurer authorized to do business in the state under the insurance article to cover claims for property damage, bodily injury, or death arising from an accident resulting from the person's use or storage of a firearm of up to $300,000 for damages arising from the same incident in addition to interest and costs. So what does that mean? That means in order to carry your firearm, then you need to have at least $300,000 of liability coverage that will cover you in the case of an accident with that firearm. As far as I'm concerned, this is the equivalent of a poll tax designed to separate you from the Second Amendment. But if the Maryland government is going to use the same definition of the word accident as insurance companies do, then it's not that high of a hurdle. If you own a home, a condo, or you rent an apartment, you more than likely have homeowners, condo owners, or renters insurance. And included in that will be a minimum coverage of liability up to about $100,000. Usually they start at $100,000 and go up from there. By the way, it is very cheap to increase that to $300,000 or $500,000. I highly recommend it if you haven't done that already. And as far as insurance companies are concerned, an accident is an accident is an accident. You kill somebody on a golf course with a stray golf ball, that's going to be covered under liability insurance. You drop your gun and it goes off and it injures someone, then that's going to be covered under your liability insurance policy as an accident. Is it still an overstep? Yes, of course it is, but it is not as big as people are making out online, as long as they are using the same definition of accident as insurance companies are. Let me zoom you in here. Okay, so example, we have your Yeet cannon ready to rock and roll. You're carrying that sucker every day. And let's see, here we go. Here I am right here, happy as a clam, carrying around my Yeet cannon, and I drop it and it hurts somebody. That scenario would be considered an accident by insurance company standards. And that would be covered under a lawsuit. You'd be covered under a lawsuit up to your liability insurance limits on your homeowners, condo owners, or renters policy. Well, let's make a second scenario here. What if, again, me carrying my Yeet cannon comes across a very angry man. This person tries to rob me and I use my Second Amendment rights to defend myself. In the eyes of the insurance company, that is not an accident. I did not accidentally get robbed by that person. That person tried to hurt me and I tried to hurt him right back and I was better at hurting than he was. So that would not be covered by your insurance policy's liability coverage. Is that what Maryland is wanting? Because that is not something that any insurance company will cover. Let's go over a third issue here. What if we have, again, me carrying my yeet cannon, and instead of me being the person defending myself, I have a brain aneurysm, I go crazy, I become the evil, angry man, and I just flat out end somebody. If I break the law, that is not considered an accident by the insurance companies, and again, will not be covered if this person's family comes after me for litigation purposes. My insurance company will not cover that. Your insurance company will not cover any liability that comes from a purposeful illegal act. If you rob a bank and you hit somebody in a getaway car, you're not covered by your auto policy. If you purposely burn down your house, your insurance company is not going to replace your house for you. And if you end somebody on purpose, your homeowner's liability insurance, again, will not cover that in any way, shape, or form. If Maryland is asking for that kind of coverage, again, that does not exist. No insurance company will offer that coverage ever. UPS just arrived and provided me with my brand new toy, or new to me. Expect to see a review on that later on, probably next month. Okay, I have been looking at all the rules and regulations in this bill, and they also mention something odd and unusual, which says that an accident resulting from the person's use or storage of a firearm. Now, I don't know about you, but I have been surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands, of firearms my entire life. And I have never once witnessed a firearm just shoot off a round while in a safe, while in storage. So the only way that's going to realistically happen is if someone is manipulating it and taking it out of storage. And if that's the case, then the same rules apply as before. Basically, as long as the person manipulating that firearm in and out of storage, whether it's in a safe, in a closet, under your bed, or in the glove box of your car, if someone gets in there and it accidentally shoots off a round and it injures someone, and they are an immediate family member that has their primary residence as your resident, your homeowners, your condo owners, your renter's policy will cover that up to the maximum amount of their liability insurance. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Your insurance company will also not cover any kind of liability issues that comes from your firearms after they were stolen from you. So if a criminal comes in, steals your firearms out of your closet, your safe or whatnot, and uses them in a crime or has an accident with them later on, then the insurance company will consider you not liable to that. If Maryland is looking for some sort of liability insurance for that scenario, again, that does not exist. No insurance company will ever offer that coverage. And that is a perfect segue to today's sponsor, Blacksmith Safes. This is a 2-pistol safe that can be screwed down to your floor, under your bed, onto your nightstand, wherever you need it. Most, this will be there, and it's biomechanical. You can use your thumbprint. I think it can hold up to 10 fingerprints in there, so you can use your thumbprint and your fingerprint on both hands. So then just in case you have lost the ability to use one hand, you got the other hand. And if you lost that hand too, how the hell are you going to use a pistol? This safe is heavy duty. They did send us free of charge, and I've been testing it out, and the thing just works. The thing works really well, very quickly. It has LED lights inside so you can see what's going on in the middle of the dark. The default number is 1, 2, 3, 4. Opens it right up as well, just in case you don't have the thumbprint in there. It also has a key option right there. 2 problem solvers. Look at that, snug as a bug in a rug right there. So we got that. Go and open it up again. There we go, and look at the lip on that. And that's almost 3 millimeters thick. Most of the big boy insurance companies do not have any kind of exclusions for liability caused by accidents from firearms. That is fairly universal, but there are a bunch of small-time operations out there that do have exclusions against firearms. If you do happen to search for the word firearms in your policy jacket and policy information, then you will probably find where it says that you have limited liability for coverage for the firearm itself in the case of it being stolen. That is a very common thing. Almost every insurance company does have that for anything that's valuable. They'll have it for furs, for jewelry, for cash you have in your house, and for firearms that are stolen. Usually it's the $2,000–$3,000, something of that nature. I do recommend that you get an extra policy for firearms if you're afraid they might be stolen. Well, guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like and go subscribe. A lot more is on the way. If you have any comments, questions, or a show ideas, leave that down in the comments down below. I try to answer as many of those as possible. And as always, you guys have a great day. See ya.